Okay, Chance Markheim. This is a routine that you can use for your middle school practice. That's going to help. Ideally, it's going to help them. You said improve their right. You want them to improve their passing, and you want to improve their ability to play into open space and communicate. Because with these 4 skills games, right, it's just a sequence of it's 4 sequence of events, and what's going to happen is, as their technical skills improve, their ability to get their heads up is going to improve. So if their heads come up, then their awareness on the field is going to improve. So they're going to be able to play better as a team, even though they're focusing on their technical abilities. So it's a very simple progression, right? This is from Tom Turnbull, right? So it's ball mastery, dribbling sequences, barrel game, and then finish with 1v1 to cone. So I'm just going to walk you through as fast as, but smoothly as I can. You always want to start with a warm-up, right? And it could be something as simple as this, right? This is actually a Muay Thai warm-up, but you don't need a lot of room for it. And this is a nice one if some of the kids maybe aren't that fit or haven't, or just developing their fitness, right? You start with some. You could either go from the ground up or head down, but when Tom Turnbull did it, he would do neck rolls first, right? Neck rolls into arm circles. There's some arm circles in reverse, shoulder circles, hip circles in reverse. Go knee circles in reverse, ankles there, and then maybe you start some skips. Get the kids going to skip, and you could even have them in the 18-yard box or the 6, depending on how many players you have. And some skips. You could do some some kicks, high knees, right? High kicks, right? So just make sure they're warmed up, right? So that's, even just that right there is better than nothing. Okay. The next thing is ball mastery. So there's an app. It's called Cobra Coaching, and it's a simple app, and I think you get a couple free. But if you start to master some of these skills, moves, then this is the progression. You teach one every practice, and then the next practice you review the one from the previous practice, so that by the end of the practice they're going to have, you start to do stuff. You say, okay, show me your chop. So all the kids start chopping, right? Show me the chop, and then you say, okay, let me see your drag. So they drag, let me see your L move, right? So by the end you're going to be able to start calling out all of these moves, and then they're going to be able to recall the move previous. So it's kind of a progression. So that's ball mastery. So you do one a practice. So you say by the end of the season they should be able to master. It's like a language. It's like maybe 20, 40 skills moves. So I think that's something that if you just invest a little bit of time in, it's really going to help them develop as players over time. Okay, so that's the first part. And assume you have a 1 hour long practice, right? 5-10 minute warm up, and then go right into ball mastery, and then from ball mastery, what you could do is dribbling sequences. And why dribbling sequences are so powerful is because it helps players not think about dribbling. It's a rhythmic pattern, right? So this is one that's a lot of fun. It's simple to learn, and it's simple to teach. You go outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, and you repeat that over and over and over, right? The key is to say it out loud when you're doing it, and to go slow in the beginning, right? So I would have when I coached middle school, I would have the players do this dribbling sequences, and go around the field twice, and you should hear them saying this sequence out loud as they're doing it. But a lot of young middle school players, they're going to try and go too fast, right? So you really want to tell them to take their time with it. Outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, 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 outside, inside, outside, inside, all around the field. And I think going around the field is nice because it's like there's a goal, right? The goal is 2 laps around the field doing the sequence, and then the next practice I'll have them go in the opposite direction, just so it changes up, you know, how they're operating mentally. Then from there you go right into juggling sequences. How should I plan this out better? Okay, let's come over here. I'm sorry, not juggling sequences. This is the barrel game. Right, with the barrel game. And this is beautiful too because you could have between 20 and 30 players going at the same garbage can. So I'm gonna assume that you have some type of garbage can or barrel at the field where you're coaching. If not, you could get a cheap garbage can from your local hardware store, $20, and there's gonna be no trash in it, right? So let's see how this progression looks. And it's very simple. And it's, if they're middle school players, right, maybe they don't have the best technical abilities, so there's a quote that goes, make skills easy, make strength hard. You want to make it easy for them to succeed and create this positive feedback spiral, right? You want them to feel what winning feels like, right? So that encourages them to keep on getting better and better. So you could start them, right? You have the whole team around a can or barrel, just like this one. And so Tom Turnbull, the progression he would start with is right foot with a bounce. Looks like this. Go bounce, kick, bounce, kick, bounce, kick in. Right? So you're juggling the ball into the barrel. All the players are racing each other to see who could juggle into the barrel faster. But I've been thinking a lot that there's a shorter distance from your hands to your thigh, and that maybe you could also go from the thighs first. So if the whole team's around the barrel, they could go right thigh, starting with the ball in the hands, just bounce, 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 just like that. Right, so you go right thigh, then you go left thigh, bounce, bounce, just like that. And then you do both thighs alternating. So you go thigh, thigh, right in there. And I was teaching a goalkeeper this past summer, or maybe the summer before, and she couldn't get more than 2 juggles. So I would have her stand right up to the barrel and go 1 juggle in there. And then after she already got 1 successfully, then as the players get better and better, you can make more distance for them, right? You make it harder for them by adding more space or taking away the bounce. And this game is great because you could have players who are better starting further away, while players who are maybe not as advanced closer to the barrel. So this game skill is great for players of different skills and abilities. So ideally, they go through the progression at their own pace. So the full progression is right foot with a bounce, left foot with a bounce, both feet alternating with a bounce, right? So it's this, right, bounce, left, bounce, right, bounce. And then if they mess up, they gotta take a step back and then start again. Right, so right foot with a bounce, left foot with a bounce, both feet alternating with a bounce, then it's right thigh, left thigh, both thighs alternating, and then finally, any body part you want with or without a bounce. Right, so it could look like this. Something like that, right? So, and this is going to take 15 minutes, right? Easily 15 minutes. And you have all these, all these kids trying to get into the same barrel. They're going to be bumping into each other. Some kids are going to be freaking out. It's kind of like just organized chaos, but it's a lot of fun. And then from there, we're going to go right into 1v1 with cones. Right, you think 15 minutes, you get 3 5-minute games. This is where you might have to invest in some tall cones. And then a good idea is to let one of you, if you have natural sidelines, to set the cones up on this natural sideline, save yourself some time and create perfect grids. Right, so you set up a cone line. You set up a cone, and then you come another couple yards, set up another cone, and then you do a couple yards away. You mirror that same cone line. Right. So let's say this is one of the cones. Let's say this is one of the cones, and then this is one of the tall cones. And if you really love coaching, and you could see yourself doing this for a lifetime, then just investing in some size 1 balls. You think a size 1 ball costs maybe, get it for less than $10. So you only need, they're competing against each other, trying to knock each other's cones over with the size 1 ball. You don't need one for every player. There's 20 players on the team, that's only 10 balls. I mean, $100 for a middle school coach, that's not nothing, but if you're serious about it, and you're serious about having if you're committed to them growing as players, maybe you could help have the parents chip in or something. But or I'm sure you get some some cheap size 1 balls. Maybe you get $5, $6, $7. Maybe you get it closer to $50, something like that. Anyway, okay. So the why 1v1 game is so great is because it's ball mastery, it's dribbling sequences, it's shielding, attacking, and defending all in one. Right, so and you want the cones not to be too far apart because, right, you really want them you want the volume of their interactions, attacking, defending, to be high. If they're too far apart, then I don't think that's that conducive for that. So, and not too close, right? You don't want them smushed together like sardines, but just right. And then they just compete against each other, and then they try to beat each other 1v1, and then knock over each other's cones. So you think 3 5-minute games, and then you just tell them, okay, switch. And Tom Turnbull, he would keep track of wins and losses, and then you kind of want to start to pair up the better players against each other. But if you have a significant amount of kids, like when I was coaching middle school, there were so many kids I didn't have time for that. I would just tell them everyone partner up, and then from there, 5 minutes in, I would tell them switch partners, and then maybe 3 games, switch again, and then after that, you just do a simple cool down, and a simple cool down could be something as easy as them walking backwards the length of the field, and then walking backwards the length of the field, and walking backwards it helps rehab the body, and it strengthens the body in different ways, using different muscles, and that's a session. And I would, so this is from Tom Turnbull, and I did this for like 10 years straight, from 5 to 15 years old. And the first season I went there, I was like the worst player on my team. I didn't play at all. And then the next season I scored more goals than the whole team combined. And it was a lot to do with because of this simple, this fun skills games, but also because I was an obsessive juggler. But that's neither here nor there. Okay, something else that is actually pretty relevant. There's a tool that you can buy, and you could bring this to practice yourself. And if the players see you using it, then it might inspire them to get it. Or you could send an email out to the parents. You could say, you tell them that this is an SKLZ solo kick trainer. This is about $25 on Amazon. SKLZ solo kick trainer. But the reason why it's so effective, and the reason why it might help with your question, which is how do I have my players improve their passing, playing the ball into space, and communicating, is because if the player knows where the ball is going to be when it leaves their foot, they're gonna improve their passing, right? So you could think every single touch of this thing is like a pass. So it's really gonna improve the quality of their passing, the quality of their timing, their rhythm. It's also gonna improve their first touch, right? You can start to get into a nice rhythm. And this is something, right? Players cram months of training into days or weeks with a simple ball and a rope. And it's so beautiful because unlike a rebounder or a wall, if a player mishits the ball, it comes back around, right? Let's say you mishit it, it comes back around immediately. So you're getting immediate, you could self-correct at a very fast rate. And there's no time chasing, right? You don't spend any time chasing the ball, which means it's just pure upside, right? Just nice and easy, relaxed, breathing. You're looking around, you're seeing time and space, you're getting a lot of touches. And this is something that they could do at home, watching games, watching, anywhere in the world you bring this. So, and it's cheap, right? Cheap, portable, lightweight. So hopefully this helps. Reach out with any questions, 508-505-1180. All right, thank you.